Hello guys, today I am looking at Asura's Wrath. This game is very weird, I guess, in terms of gameplay, where it's not really a game. Like, I know, yes, there are combat segments where you use your fists and fight hand to hand, but a lot of this game is actually cutscenes and QuickTime sequences. And I've never played a game that was mostly cutscenes that I've never been so enjoyable and happy to play, because the cutscenes in this game feel absolutely insane and crazy. So Asura himself, I mean, he's kind of this deity from ancient Buddhist lore. And so you have this really weird take on, mythology you don't usually see, which is Buddhist lore and mythology and these creatures, but it's like aged up into like the future millennium. So it's sci-fi Buddhism. And so that alone already is pretty interesting. But Asura himself essentially is the Dragon Ball Z character in this universe. And so not only do you have these amazingly, crazily detailed, well-done designs, but Asura himself kind of has this God of War, vibe to him, where essentially he's super powered up. And the story, again, is just really insane. And again, you have these combat sections where it's very basic. You have your light attack, heavy attack, ranged attack, all that kind of basic stuff. But again, it's the context and the story that makes it worthwhile. And again, it's a very weird game because you don't technically get much better at, the gameplay. You do certain things where you like upgrade or whatever, but a lot of it is just very repetitive and not very good. But it's the tone and the scope of the story that honestly saves this game and makes it definitely something worth playing. And basically you just mash square in all these areas until you're ready to do R2 burst, and then you have a series of QuickTime events. And so it's kind of funny that the gameplay is an excuse to get to the rest of the story. So what is the story? Well, essentially, mankind has been attacked by these creatures called the Goma, which are these dark, evil creatures. And what the gods do is they intervene, but they also need humanity essentially to pray to them. And so the story takes place over the course of eons. And so humanity's prayers actually turn into energy. And so there are certain points where the gods decide to use the energy for selfish purposes, of which there are 7 major ones. And so one of the gods, Asura, and another one, Yasha, later decides that the use of the humans' energy is abusive and that they don't actually care about the humans, they just care about their energy. And so they basically decide that that's wrong. And so they kind of rebel against the other gods and decide to essentially protect humanity. Another really cool stylistic thing that they do with Asura is that when he does get wounded and part of his body is destroyed, it shows these wires and cogs underneath, implying that the gods are actually some kind of advanced machine, which is a cool thing that they've done. Another aspect too is that Asura finds this girl, it's essentially that he treats as his daughter, and so that's his main motivation for defending humanity, that if there's this one life that has meaning to him, and so he tries to essentially save her, and the senseless destruction that the gods are simply think they are above reproach and above humanity, and that the humans are there to serve them and not the other way around. And anyway, you see Asura kind of yell and scream and power up, and when he does do that, he goes from his 2-arm state to his 4-arm or 6-arm state, and he essentially becomes so powerful that the other gods actually fear him and want to destroy him. Again, I love all the technology and the minions of the god themselves, these giant armadas and fleets that you get to destroy and blow up, through your rage and your energy and your power. And of course, the other thing about this game that is super important and useful is the music. The music for this game alone is an amazingly well made and well conducted, and it is so cool to listen to it. It has this ancient epic theme, And again, it's just, going deep into lore and mythology and turning it into basically like a shonen anime kind of thing feels really, really cool. And the whole aesthetic of Asura, like, you feel like it's based on something else that came out before, but no, this is just a passion project of like this one thing. And I just find it so fascinating and so cool. Again, also, the entire game is broken up into different episodes, and each time you beat an episode, there's a preview of the next one, which is like literally the next level. So the way this entire game is structured is actually like an anime, which is just so crazy to me. It's like an interactive cinematic anime that does have actual combat, but even if it didn't, I'd still kind of be okay with it being a game because it just looks really, really cool. So yeah, it definitely has a God of War vibe to it. The gameplay, again, is very simple. I would say my favorite character in this game is actually Yasha. I love him. He's the exact opposite of Asura, similar to like Dante and Virgil. One of them is completely extroverted and the other is completely introverted and much more focused in his combat. And so you actually do get to play as multiple characters throughout this game. And again, just seeing the designs, the style, the music, this entire thing is a very distinct and weird experience. And one of the pieces of Buddhist lore is you have this spider that initially is a spider web that pulls Asura out of the underworld. But this golden spider becomes this kind of demon that is causing dissension between the gods themselves, and so it whispers things to Asura that he can't trust the other gods. And well, on one hand, he is right, and so, but it turns out he's actually the final boss of the game. And so, even after you beat the Zeus of this world, there's a final boss, which is like kind of like the father of the universe kind of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of contemplating and references to a lot of different kinds of things like Brahmastra and the Buddha Vita and things like this. And so they really go deep into trying to visualize these ancient, epic, lore and poems and turning them into something that's actually visually extremely cool and technical and also scientifically evolved. I've never played a game like this where I've been satisfied, where the main focus is not gameplay. It's really story and cutscenes and just the sheer ridiculous presentation of the whole thing. But yeah, that is Asura's Wrath. It is a wild anime video game that is absolutely beyond anything I've ever seen, and stylistically and technically is amazing, frankly, and very, very cool to play. And the other weird thing I should mention about this is that one of the DLCs, which is so stupid, is that Asura gets to fight not Ryu, but like Evil Ryu, or I think the other Asura from the Street Fighter series. I forget, but you get to fight a Street Fighter character in one of the DLCs, which is just a stupid little funny like crossover. But yeah, this is definitely a very rare, weird, and very, I think, underrated gem. And that's pretty much all I can say about it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.